It's a press conference from today investigating the crime cartel that is the Biden family. Will it happen after the midterms with just a little bit of a majority? We will see. But I want to celebrate something concrete. I consider him a friend. I am honored to do so. He's an amazing patriot. Let's look at this headline, just fresh this week. The DOJ, I guess, the FBI had to drop their case against perhaps one of the greatest mayors in American history. Why? Because it was bogus, because you can't do that to a patriot. And we are honored to have America's mayor with us here on Newsmax today. Mayor Rudy Giuliani, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Sebastian. Indeed, you are a friend, a very good friend, and someone who's contributed a tremendous amount to this country and are continuing to do it in this difficult role.
They came after you, they failed, they dropped everything, the case against our friend as well, Victoria Tunsing, so I want to recognize that. They tried to politically persecute you. But let's just put... yeah, can I put a headline up for you to comment on? Can I just put a headline up from PJ Media? This is from yesterday. So it seems as if the raid on Mar-a-Lago was a lie, was likewise political persecution, this time of the president. Turns out there were no nuclear secrets. There was just documents the president thought that he owned as president. How disturbed are you that the FBI and the DOJ is doing this, not just to you, Mr. Mayor, but to a former president?
Well, I mean, you can almost see a pattern in what they did to the president now, what they did to him during the investigation with Mueller, how they handled his family constantly leaking that Donald Jr. would be indicted. Really, he was never going to be indicted. They just did that. They were hoping it would get the president to say something harmful or something. And then in my case, they wouldn't tell me what they were investigating me for 2 years, except the New York Times would. So there'd be a leak that they're investigating me for one thing or another thing or another thing. It kept changing. I made the offer from the moment they came here to go talk to them. I ran that office. I said, you have any problem, you tell me what it is, because I'm going to tell you one thing I'm absolutely certain. I didn't commit a crime. And when I turned over all the evidence to them, it came for electronic equipment. The last two pieces of electronic equipment, I pointed to it. So that's your only incriminating evidence right there. They said, what is it? I said, it's Hunter Biden's hard drive. I've got the one with the child pornography, and then I've got the one without it. You should probably take both, because child pornography is also a federal crime. And they said, oh, we don't want that. And I said, well, that violates your subpoena.
That is not the FBI that I used to know when I worked with them. So they don't want the actual evidence of real crimes. They want to gin something up against you. But it's not just the former president. It's not just his attorney and the former mayor of New York. We've got a little cut here from Senator Hawley, who doesn't get a very good response from the director of the FBI. Play cut.
Whistleblowers, field agents have also said that D.C. has ordered the use of SWAT teams on nonviolent suspects who may have attended a January 6th rally, and they have been ordered to conduct surveillance and knock on doors of people who were not even in D.C. on January 6th.
Why does the director of the FBI, why can't he answer simple questions about pro-life activists being raided, or whether there were FBI agents disguised as MAGA protesters? Surely he should be able to answer that if he's accountable, Mr. Mayor.
Well, I mean, Sebastian, he's not running the FBI. It's almost an embarrassment to call it the FBI. He's running a typical state-dominated police force that you would have in East Berlin or Soviet Union or Nazi Germany, or the minute you have a double standard, it's no longer anything akin to an American police department. Now, and then this is a politicized agency. I mean, they follow what Biden tells them. I mean, it goes back to when Obama told them not to indict Hillary. And Comey, like a lapdog that he is, made sure they didn't indict Comey. I mean, everybody's upset about Comey lying and committing perjury, and I am too. He should have been indicted. Anybody else would have. But he fixed the Hillary Clinton investigation. He wrote the report 3 months before he finished the investigation. And Obama went out publicly and said there was no evidence against Hillary Clinton. You know, every time a Republican president makes the slightest comment on a case, the judges and the phony bar associations and go crazy. Well, both these presidents have told, Biden has told everyone that his son is innocent, which of course is idiotic. I've got about 50 crimes he and his son committed together. His son is
and when it comes to Hillary, we have Comey himself talking about the multiple top secret emails on her unsecured server. But strangely enough, she didn't have her home raided. She didn't have her devices taken away from her like you did. Mr. Mayor, I just want to salute you now that we know the FBI's case has collapsed. I'm gonna suggest to President Trump he needs to recognize you as well for everything you did in 2020 and continue to do. Listen to this man's podcast. It's called Common Sense with Rudy Giuliani. Next up, can we do anything about the FBI? In the meantime, check out his book, Leadership. No, please. I'm gonna mention your book now here, Leadership, Rudy Giuliani. We're going to continue with a 23-year veteran of the Bureau. Can we fix it? Stay with us here on the Rob Schmitt Show.